right, we are off to Newark Airport. That's in New Jersey. I live in Brooklyn. Without traffic, only around a 30-minute drive. Picking up our friend Lucy from her 4th week vacation, visiting family in Wisconsin. And I wanted to take this drive as an opportunity to try out increasingly becoming my new favorite bike. And for the sole reason that it is super tiny, it's super easy to connect to multiple cameras. And even though it's not Bluetooth enabled or it's not fully wireless, I always find that connecting via receiver, it makes it a lot more stable of a connection, also a lot clearer of sound. So doing another video challenge by using a different camera, a new format, and this time a different mic, both to test and also to tell you about a function, particularly about cars, that as a person that is a little bit older and grew up in the Philippines and had a huge chunk of my life just using public transit here in New York. When I was in the Philippines, I was driving, but I was never able to really utilize all the newer fun function that cars have. Like, I remember my last car in the Philippines back in 2008. I was just happy that the windows and the locks were automatic. So last week in my trip upstate for my 4th week vacation / celebration, that was the first time that I really got into cruise control. Yes, I know most cars, possibly for the past decade, has had cruise control. It's not a new function, but it's new for me. And I tinkered around with it in the past whenever I borrowed a car here and there, but I never really unlocked the full functionality of it because it didn't really drive a lot. And even if when I drove, it would be shorter distances because in New York, it's just much more efficient to ride the train because of traffic and the prohibitive cost of parking in the city. But now that I've been driving and visiting my friends upstate way more, I figured I should learn that function and see how it can make my driving a lot more efficient and easy. And boy, was it fun having some form of adaptive cruise control in my car, just letting the car follow the car in front of it. Of course, you're still steering. It's not self-driving like the Teslas or all those electric vehicles, but it was super fun. And it made me want to do even more long trips because of how easy it is, or how easier it is now to drive. I was thinking about that a lot because that's something that happens to all of us. Like, not all of us are able to maximize the features of all of our gears. And that should be a signal to us to, one, just always try to learn a little bit more, because there might be something that will just exponentially unlock both either joy or efficiencies in the things that you do. So you might have a camera that they've never used a particular feature, a car in my case, a piece of furniture, a piece of appliance. So there's always something like that. But also on the flip side, we have to understand that not all of us are in the same timeline in terms of our journey with our craft. So, you know, some people who've been filming or photographing for decades might be amazing in some aspects, but deficient in some. So I've been photographing for close to 30 years, around 25 years at this point. I've started it in college. That became like one of my main hobbies in college. And even though I've had a camera on me for a majority of that time, that doesn't mean that I know all the tips and tricks for my camera, let alone all cameras. So it took me a long time to learn how to film, even though my cameras the past 5-6 years have been the top choice for filmmakers or hybrid filmmakers. I hopped on the RF format a couple of years prior to the pandemic, 2018, 2019, and then added my Sony system 2022, 2023. So it was slow going for me to learn how to film and then learn how to edit. But once I did, the amount of things that I could do became exponential. And then now I like new things. I have shifted my priorities from mostly photos to now mostly videos. And then I started my investment in action cameras and started filming performances. I still do photos here and there, but the more that I learn, the more features that I unlock. We are all in different timelines, and we all both need to be patient, but we all also need to just look at the manual. Go on YouTube, check out the things, because there might just be one or two features that will make you either fall in love with a particular craft or gear, or unlock its potential. That's why I thought about this topic on my ride out to pick up Lucy, because I had my X5 in my bag, and I figured like, oh, I've never really used that on a ride along, and because it is 360 camera, I can export different angles of the video and make it a little bit of a multicam setup too, like a jank multicam setup, not the most clean and crisp multicam setup, but multicam setup nonetheless. But also I was thinking, I loved my X4, but I now have fallen deeper, more in love with the X5, particularly because of the Insta360 feature. And then combining it with this new mic, easier to connect to the camera now as well, small enough that the receiver doesn't show on the stitch line, and now the juices are flowing, and now I might whip out the X5 even more than I already do whenever I do some of my walk and talks, or when I use it as a follow cam for different performances of my friends. But anyway, that's what's on my mind. I am gonna continue driving now. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful day. And again, I hope to see you in your next video, and I hope to see you in the next of mine. See ya.